Journey to Atlantis is a mock rides water coaster located at SeaWorld Orlando. This coaster is a bit of a mix between a traditional water ride and a roller coaster, and it makes for a really unique and really cool ride experience. We're going to be discussing everything there is to this coaster, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with a couple stats here. Journey to Atlantis stands 100 feet tall or 30 meters, has a drop of about 60 feet or 18 meters, has about 1,800 feet of track or 549 meters, and as I said earlier, was built by Mock Ride. And a quick note, this ride does have a height requirement of 42 inches or 107 centimeters, so it's not too difficult for the whole family to take a ride on this coaster. But speaking of this coaster, Journey to Atlantis actually has some pretty nice theming, especially for a more supporting cast roller coaster. As you can tell by the coaster name, this coaster is themed after the lost city of Atlantis, which, if you don't know what it was basically an ancient Greek myth that there was once a city in the sea that simply disappeared one day without a trace, and it was said that that city actually ended up sinking to the bottom of the ocean. So the whole building and the ride experience is kind of themed around this like mythological ancient Greece kind of feel. And I must say, SeaWorld did a very, very good job with it. The station, the building, it all really fits the vibe pretty good. And with nice theming also comes a fairly hefty price tag. Now, something I do want to note to make sure everyone is aware, all the Journey to Atlantis coasters in the SeaWorld chain are not the same. So this review may not apply to the one in San Antonio. I mean, some stuff will be fairly similar, but like, Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld Orlando and SeaWorld San Antonio are pretty much completely different rides. Alright, enough of that, let's go through the ride experience of SeaWorld Orlando's Journey to Atlantis, element by element. Now, I want to do my best to not really like spoil the whole ride theme and storyline behind everything, so I'll just kind of point out some stuff and let you guys experience the story firsthand if you get the chance to ride it. So you dispatch from the station and are immediately entering a dark building, where there you'll see a couple buildings and stuff, but you will notice that your boat is moving pretty slow. That's because Journey to Atlantis is a pretty slow ride up until you hit that roller coaster part. And it's a pretty relaxing and slow boat ride, but stay with me here because with the music and everything and kind of the general atmosphere surrounding this indoor part of the ride, it's really pretty enjoyable too. And you luckily won't really get wet while inside the building either, so that's another plus too. But you will get very, very, very wet later on, so just a heads up. You continue winding through the theming at a fairly slow pace, again getting to listen to the story, taking in the nice music and the really good theming surrounding you. By now you're going to be hitting some more like Greek theming, like you can see there's pillars right there in the style of the ones they would have done back in ancient Greece. There's some nice artwork and other stuff too, but then you hit your first lift hill, in which you are greeted by, yeah, don't get too excited just yet, because we're not at the best part, because we haven't even seen the second lift hill. I'm just messing around, don't worry, it'll get real interesting here soon. As you ascend up your lift hill, you can take a look to the right and get a pretty good look at the surrounding scenery. And by now, you're fairly high up, and I'm sure you all can guess what is going to happen after you crest the lift hill. Yup, another left turn. But now we're finally at the fun part, because you slowly make your way to this tunnel before beginning to descend your drop. Now, unlike some water rides, you do have a lap bar restraint, but you are still going to get some very good airtime going down this hill, especially if you're in the back row. But even in the front, you're still getting a pretty good amount of airtime. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, this is the big drop for the water ride, it's gotta be the climax for this attraction. And while this drop is very good, I really think the best has yet to come. But in the meantime, you are getting pretty darn wet, especially in the front row, because all that water is just going to splash up and hit you in the face. So if you've got like a poncho or something like that, I would probably recommend wearing that. And if you have like flip-flops or Crocs or something like that that you can wear, I would again highly recommend that, just to ensure that your socks aren't soaked for the rest of the day. Because let's be honest, that is not fun. Next you hit what is borderline the scariest part of the ride. And you're probably thinking, but it's just a small little drop. How could this possibly be the scariest part of the ride? Well, if the weight is distributed just right, you're A, going to get absolutely soaked, and B, it's gonna feel like your boat's like going to plunge head first into the water and sink. Now obviously this is safe and that is not gonna happen, but if the weight is right, for a second it really might seem like it's gonna come true. Now that your entire lower body is absolutely drenched, it's time to ascend yet another lift hill. Once you reach the top of the lift hill, you enter another little dark ride section. But this is no ordinary dark ride section, because you will be soon greeted with a big surprise. Because seemingly out of nowhere, you begin to descend a twisted drop. And before you know it, you are on a roller coaster track, on a water ride. You're greeted with another dose of some good airtime, and the entire unexpected element of this, I had no idea this was here, really added to the ride experience. So you drop down almost completely in the dark, twist right again, and enter a small little airtime pop, which again is another really cool element before entering your final splashdown of the ride, where you will get pretty wet yet again. And thus concludes your ride on Journey to Atlantis. All in all, I really enjoyed Journey to Atlantis. It's got really good theming, a really good drop, a roller coaster section, some really nice splashdowns, airtime. It pretty much has it all for a water coaster. And it is pretty unfortunate that we didn't see many more mock water rides pop up at amusement parks across the US. I know they've been trying to break back into that water ride market with the mock Power Splash and everything, but these mock water coasters are really good, and again, it's a shame that more have not been built. And it was also really cool seeing the attention to detail that SeaWorld put into this attraction. Let's not forget, this is no main Mako level ride that's bringing all the people. This is a pretty secondary just water ride at the park. Or let me rephrase that, not a secondary water ride, but it is still a supporting cast roller coaster. But seeing how much effort and money they put in the theming of this coaster, it's just really cool. And they even have a really cool gift shop with basically a small aquarium in it, so that makes it even cooler. For Journey to Atlantis' final score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely one of the best water rides you'll ever find at a regional amusement park. And I highly recommend getting a ride on it if you ever visit SeaWorld Orlando. And you do get to escape the Orlando heat a little bit, which is also nice. However, this is just one of the many amazing roller coasters SeaWorld Orlando has to offer. What about the rest of the roller coasters? Are they good? Are they bad? And should I even spend my precious time riding them? Well, if you want to see a review just like this for every single roller coaster at SeaWorld Orlando, check out the video on your screen right now. Because this video is crucial in deciding where to go to first, what coasters to ride, what to skip, and if you want to check that out, click on the video on your screen right now. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like down below, and
please subscribe!
Anyways, thank you guys for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.